right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Harnessing Helium. I'm Jacob Swin, product marketing manager with Nova Labs, the team behind the Helium Network. And I'm here with Marco Sprenkels. Marco, you want to introduce yourself a little bit? I know you're with TechTenna, one of our roaming partners, and we're going to talk a little bit about roaming, but why don't you give the people a little intro, short little intro of who you are?
Sure. Marco Sprenkels, CEO of TechTenna. It's a European, Netherlands, Belgium-based LoRaWAN operator. And since a few weeks, we are roaming with Helium.
Yeah, awesome. So glad to have you on today, Marco. Like he just said, for a few weeks now, TechTen has been a roaming partner with the Helium Network. So this is our first harnessing helium to kind of talk about roaming on the Helium Network. So excited to kind of dive into, what roaming is, how it's helping you, benefits of roaming on Helium. So, like I said, Marco, this is the first episode we talked about roaming at all. So do you want to give just a very short little overview, like high level for someone who's never heard of roaming or anything like that? Like what are you doing roaming on the network? What does that mean when we say that?
Sure, I'll try to explain. Maybe the best explanation is we have our own network. We have a LoRaWAN network. We have our own gateways, no hotspots, gateways.
Mhm.
And when we deploy devices on it, it can only be received by our gateways. Now, if there is, for example, we install a cold chain solution in a truck or something which travels to another city, area, or country, then we don't have gateways there. But now with the Helium network, which is present in all major cities, the package is still transmitted by the device, still says, okay, my temperature is this, my temperature is this, and it is received by any LoRa reception point, so a gateway and hotspots. Now, what the whole point of roaming is that because we have agreed that if any Helium hotspots receives a device, a message from which is marked, this is from TechTenna, then please do forward it to TechTenna. So this is what's happening. So if a message is transmitted outside our area, it is still ending up in our infrastructure. Now, so this is about roaming. This is the whole principle of roaming. We more or less, we just say, okay, the Helium network receives far more messages than only Helium registered devices, because LoRaWAN is the standard. And what you could do is just throw the messages away, but currently you are offering that to the market, and for us it's convenient, we can just get those messages. So it improves the quality of our network and improves the service we can provide to customers.
Awesome. No, that's great to hear. And so if I understand right, you guys TechTenna chose to roam with Helium, a lot of it because of just the massive coverage from Helium, right? Like more coverage, and so you can expand business operations and things like that. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Look, what we do as TechTenna, we kind of guarantee connectivity. So if you have a device and it doesn't work, it's my problem. I consider it my problem. I make sure it works within the limits that's technically possible. But with the roaming with Helium, we can accelerate the market by saying to customers we can provision our service in a city we are not actively present in, but we can already start with the kind of minimal coverage which is provided by Helium. And then we start building our network. For example, if there is in some white spot in the Helium network, so 10 devices receive, one doesn't, then we start building our network. We start building our network on that one spot where there's no coverage. And the rest we will just, build extra coverage besides Helium. So if Helium drops or if TechTenna drops, there is still coverage. So it's helping each other.
Yeah. So you can build redundancy in those places and keep
it's absolutely, it's a redundant solution. And for the customer, it's a redundant solution, so better quality. And for the market penetration, we can start earlier we can now offer services in I don't know, I love Paris. We can start offer services in Paris, provisioning the devices on our network, working with the Helium network.
Yeah, great, great. Can you talk a little bit? Helium Roaming Services, we officially launched, I believe, March 15th, so only about 2 weeks ago or so. Can you talk a little bit about like your experience so far roaming with Helium? What features does Helium Roaming Services kind of provide for you? What are you really excited about with it?
Yeah, so the first of all is the ease of use. We have integrated with many platforms, and with the Helium roaming console, it's just brilliance in its simplicity. I love it. So
Great to
keep
hear.
doing that.
Yeah, yeah. Good feedback.
So um, and well, the big feature is you can provision devices. You have to indicate this, I want to receive joins from this device. And one of the big features is using wildcards. Not sure if I haven't seen it before, but what I can now do is just, I want to receive any joins intended from me with a wildcard for a type of device. So I don't have to enter or upload the whole list of 1,000 devices. I can just say, okay, this join UI I want to have.
All right. Um, Yeah, no, that's great to hear. I love the ease of use part too, because I think with LoRaWAN sometimes, it's complicated at times for people
It's
who haven't used it before, So hearing ease of use really is something that we're trying to, get more people using it with making things easier to use for sure.
Yeah. So in this way, the roaming for an operator, it's integrates seamless. It works fine now. Yeah.
All
And
right.
the
Kudos
contact
to
with the development team, I had some contact with the development team as well, and
yeah.
they are, you know, the speed of learning is enormous. I love that for us as well. Huh? We
Yeah. Yeah,
we
no, I was
really
just going to say shout out to the development team for getting this going and making it easy to
yeah,
use.
yeah,
That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. Great. Are there any specific like use cases that are really interesting that TechTenna is doing and working on that roaming with Helium kind of makes possible? Anything you can talk about, anything you can highlight?
yeah. I think one of the use cases I can talk about is actually two. Is we are providing real estate sub-metering services, which is mostly the case when there are some devices in a city. Normally, we could only do that because we are building our own network, but now we can accelerate that using roaming with Helium. We can start in any city. So any real estate owner, they can just say, okay, yes, I want sub-metering with one of these meters you see there. We have a lot of them.
Yeah.
And then once those are installed, it's not limited to the cities we were normally active in, but now we can provision a basic service, which we don't guarantee connectivity, but hey, let's install it. We will guarantee it to work within, let's say, a few months, but
Mhm.
maybe it even has working already now. So that's one example. The second example is a cold chain solution. For example, we do that with restaurants and etc. It's easier to start, but also for the mobile cold chain problem. So if there's a truck and the temperature needs to be monitored, you want some kind of connectivity. It doesn't need to have permanent connectivity, but it needs on a regular basis needs connectivity.
Yeah.
For that you need, well, national coverage. An operator always claims national coverage, but what you really need specifically in Europe is European coverage, and there's nobody providing European coverage unless there is some specific roaming agreements in place. Now, with Helium,
Gotcha.
for us, it is possible to start providing those European services right away. So
Yeah.
that's it's really an accelerator for us.
Yeah. Awesome. Those are things you're doing now. Are there any like use cases or anything you're kind of people can look forward to in the future from TechTenna that maybe the Helium Network can help out with? Anything you can talk about or tease right now? I don't know.
Yeah, well,
Good. Yeah.
so what I really look forward to is these were all business applications. What we I think one of the biggest opportunities is consumer applications. if there is an easy to use consumer application. So where you don't need to provision, no keys, all these difficulties of typically LoRa stuff. If you can avoid it and build a consumer application, that's something we are looking for. We are working on it.
Yeah.
Hope to launch
So
it this year, end of the year.
all right. So everyone can look out for that, huh? That's good. That's good. Okay, Marco, that was all the questions I had. Do you have anything else you want to talk about with roaming, with Helium Roaming Services, with anything,
No, I
with the
look
Helium
forward
Network?
to building the use cases and accelerate it. And I would really recommend other parties to have a serious look at the roaming possibilities, because it's just a neat integration.
Yeah, no, totally. I agree. And we're very excited for this, and the possibilities, like you said, that we can open up for, companies, businesses, consumers, everybody. So yeah, thank you very much, Marco, for coming on. Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
If you have any specific links or anything you want people to check out, we can drop those in the video description too once this goes up. So if the
Okay.
listeners, want to follow up with you or anything, we can put contact info or anything like that in there too. So
Okay.
they can reach out to you or to Helium or anybody.
Okay, I'll
All
drop
right.
you a message then. All right.
Perfect. All right. Thank you again. Appreciate it, and great talking to you.
Okay, nice talking to you again, Jacob.